In this video, we're going to focus on the sending file and we're going to focus on our specific inputs. So we have right now our items here. You can see this here. And then let's look at our database. So I created a very simple database with a user info. And the goal of this database is basically to get the first name, last name, title, and the user ID. However, user ID by default is incremental by number. So all of these others should be text. And as you can see here, the types, there's some issues here, so we probably have to change this as well. So let's click here on change, and we will make this a var chart, and this one as well. So how many characters long? Let's say 100 and 100. All right, save this, then this will work. All right, so this looks fine now. So let's focus on our sending file to get what we call these three inputs that we can insert to create, for example, a new user or a new customer, whatever you have. We're going to insert that person's name in the database. So to do this, we must have a suitable input in our sending file. So we're going here to Bootstrap and we're going to search for a form. Yeah, so in the form, at least that's how Bootstrap categorizes it. In the form, we have what we call form controls, and where you can insert this, or at least values, like all kind of options here. And you can see here, this is what we need for the name or the title. Title is like a drop down where we say male, female, whatever. That's so basically, well, there are only two, Mr., Mrs., or something, maybe professor, doctor, whatever you have. All these things, but two are the most common one. All right. Next, of course, here, email. Well, this will be just a normal text version. So let's copy this part first. So we're going to copy this. I'm going to just insert this data in our sending file. So we have here our sending file. Let's save this and put it in here. All right, I'll just do some proper indentations. And what we'll do is we just copy this and we do it one more time. And finally, one more. All right, so we got this now and we have all these items here. So we see here our example or for. So what we call this here is, let's say, first name, and then you say here first name, type is text. Then we have here the class is a form control, yes, so it will maintain nice. And here we can say here first name as the ID. So this is very important, having the ID correctly. So then later on with AJAX we can pinpoint this and then we can insert it correctly as well. And say here we have a placeholder, you can put in anything. Let's say enter first name. Same story here, we're going to do exactly the same, but then this is the last name. I'll just copy this because this will be very consistent. Last name. Then you have here the type text again. Form control, ID is last name. And finally here we can say enter last name and the placeholder. All right. Here in this case, this is not a input type. This is what we call an option. So we can copy this part here to make it suitable. Go back here, just paste this in. All right. Do some proper indentations here. And there we are. So we'll say this option. We have these options here. Value. So we can say here value equals 1. Value equals 2. And maybe we have another value. Yes, we can do a value equals 0, and this basically means undefined. Undefined. Defined. That's the way you spell that. All right, and so here we say Mr. This is Miss. So this, of course, you would say, well, why we have this as an option to select? Well, we will probably hide this one. So we will later on hide this value. So that is by default, it is undefined, but it is not able to select. So you cannot select this. Then what we have to do here, please select gender. So then here what we can do, we have the select class, yes, ID. So what's the ID? We can say here ID will be gender or title. That's the one we also use, so we can be very consistent. Instead of gender we say title. Title. All right, so we got this now. Now we're done here, and this for the for, we also have to adjust this to title. So let's copy all of this, and now let's insert it in our sending file. Once we did that, let's refresh the page, click on update. Now we have our items here, so that looks very nice, and we are very probably now we can start working on inserting and clicking on the save, or what happens then is that something will happen with the information. So now we have almost everything ready. We're going to work with the AJAX code. We'll start that in the next video.